The generation that changed the world is now changing the face of retirement. A generation who embraced life now embraces lifestyle. Achieving a comfortable, secure retirement has been a dream of Canadians for decades. But as baby boomers approach retirement age, the definition of retirement is changing. And as people change their retirement goals, the fundamentals of saving for retirement are changing too. The coming generation of retirees will face different yet greater financial challenges than ever before.
Boomers, like no other generation, are challenging conventional retirement thinking. We want to protect our assets, but at the same time, we want them to grow. As boomers, we're less willing to curb our spending habits or give up our lifestyles to retire. So what worries us when we think about retirement planning? Manulife Investments asked Canadian boomers, what are your biggest concerns when approaching retirement? Topping the list are outliving retirement savings, inflation, and market volatility. Today, Canadians are living longer than ever before. A couple now 65 years old has a 94% chance of one partner living to 80 and a 63% chance of living to age 90. That means needing to fund your retirement for at least 25 to 30 years.
I don't know if I got enough or not. Best to be honest.
I hope I'm diversified enough.
Inflation also has a major impact on your retirement savings.
If the inflation rate is approximately 3%, what you can buy for $1,000 today will only buy you $401 worth of goods in 30 years' time. That means $100 worth of groceries today will cost you $181 in 20 years and $243 in 30 years.
And again, the hardest part is trying to figure out what to do about it. Is, how much am I going to need? You don't know what inflation's going to be, what the cost of living, what's going to happen to the cost of living. So it's tricky.
Unpredictable market conditions are also a source of retirement concern, and we see it in the news all the time.
The economy is at a stage now. Where is it going to go, and where are our RSPs going to go? Should we be defensive about them?
All of these factors are legitimate concerns for Canadian boomers now preparing for or entering retirement.
Leading Canadian financial expert Moshe Milevsky recently identified another critical factor that can affect a retirement portfolio: the retirement risk zone. The retirement risk zone is the period just before and after retirement when your portfolio is most vulnerable to market downturns.
The retirement risk zone attempts to describe the time period before retirement and within 5 or 10 years after retirement where a loss in the stock market or a fall in the value of their investments can have a disproportionate effect on the amount of income that they can withdraw in retirement. It's a risk zone. It's one of the risks that people face in retirement, and they have to manage that risk.
Let's examine why you're at greater risk from stock market declines near or at retirement compared to when you're saving for retirement. When you're in the saving phase, the order or sequence of your investment returns is less important, provided you stay invested and ride out the rough patches.
For example, if you received a return of 7% one year, then minus 13% the next year, then 27% the year after, you earn an average 7% return on your investment. In fact, if the sequence of these returns changes and the minus 13% return comes first, your outcome would still be the same, an average return of 7%.
However, if you're in the retirement risk zone, experiencing poor market returns early in retirement can significantly reduce your retirement savings and have an impact on whether they will last throughout your retirement. The reason is that your portfolio may not have the time to recover the way it could for a younger investor, even if the market does rebound. Another reason is that in retirement, you're withdrawing money from your nest egg as income. Withdrawing money from investments that are already suffering losses from the markets may mean that you're depleting your declining investment much more quickly and could run out of money much sooner than you expected. Let's explore this further using the numbers from our previous example.
Say someone retired at age 65 with $100,000 and planned to withdraw 9% of their savings each year as income. Assume they were somehow able to receive a consistent 7% return every year on their investment. Their money could last for 21 years, until they were 86. Let's look at this again, but this time the retiree earns 27% the first year, 7% the second year, and minus 13% the third year, and so on, in this order throughout retirement. The average return is still 7%, but this time, due to a couple of good years in a row, their money actually lasts an additional 9 years, until age 95. But what happens if the negative return takes place right at the beginning of retirement? If we change the sequence of returns again, so that they earn minus 13%, then 7%, and then 27% in this order throughout retirement, the average return is still 7%. But now this person's portfolio is depleted by age 81, 14 years earlier than if they'd had the good returns 2 years in a row. 14 years earlier, all because the retiree had the misfortune of suffering market losses in the wrong order. Isn't retirement the time to stop worrying about your investments, income, inflation, and the market ups and downs? That's why Manulife Investments created Income Plus. Income Plus offers investors the opportunity for predictable, sustainable, and potentially increasing income for life, regardless of how the markets perform. To give you an idea of how Income Plus works, let's look at an example. Bob is age 65, retired, and a conservative investor with $500,000 in retirement savings. Bob needs predictable, sustainable, guaranteed income for his retirement that will last throughout his life and help him keep ahead of inflation. His investment also needs to take advantage of the growth potential of the markets. But Bob can't afford to lose his retirement savings if markets decline. He needs a guarantee, something that helps protect his investment from losses and offers growth potential. Income Plus allows Bob to take withdrawals of 5% every year as retirement income for the rest of his life. In this case, 5% of Bob's $500,000 would be $25,000 per year. With Income Plus, Bob's $25,000 income is guaranteed. Even if the markets decline, his annual retirement income will not drop below $25,000 no matter how long he lives. But if the market grows, so does Bob's guaranteed income. Let's look at how Income Plus works in both declining and growing market scenarios. Looking first at a worst-case scenario, let's say that the market suffered an extreme decline for a long period of time. In this example, if Bob had invested his $500,000 in the markets without the protection of Income Plus, his market value would hit zero by year 16. But with Income Plus, Bob can continue to receive his annual $25,000 income for the rest of his life. Income Plus protected Bob from a serious decline in the market. But what happens if the markets are strong? Bob invests his $500,000 and withdraws his guaranteed $25,000 per year income. He does this again after year 2 and year 3.